guys, we got.
Do you have any update on Ramir and Deshaun?
Ramir's out. Deshaun will play.
Your evaluation of this week in practice?
It's been a good week. Guys, as you would expect, battled back from a disappointing week last week. We'll have to get to the game and do it in the game. We'll see, but it's been a good week.
You believe in incremental progress. You're a process guy. What do you feel like you guys got incrementally better at this week just in practice?
I think everything. Unfortunately, there's not time in game weeks. The opponents are too good in the Big Ten to have like these large philosophical, like kind of like what happened with Sat the other day. Like I don't want Sat worried about the yards per play. I want him worried about blocking number 91 from Ohio State, right? So you have to be very in the moment. So it's, you can't really go out there and have these, hey, we got to fix it. You just go out there this week and say, hey, third down, then what are they going to do? What are we going to do? So I think we had a really good week. Some of the issues in the kicking game have been so glaring. Obviously, Sam, you have to kind of fix some of those things. But we've been working on those since over the bye week, right? Just constantly. But you also have to get ready for Ohio State and what they do. So there's not a lot of time, not a lot of reps, So, but I think at the end of the day, we put last week behind us. We move forward and we get ready for this amazing football team we're playing and this amazing opportunity to go on the road. And so I think we got better at a lot of things.
Back to the Barney play, we didn't really ask much about it, but was he trying to return that, the Barney play, the kickoff? Was he trying to return that, or did he think he stepped out of bounds, was trying to get it to the 35? What was the?
Yeah, we showed the play in the team meeting, and the amazing competitor he is. He said, "Coach, that's a catastrophic, terrible mistake by me." What we'd like him to do is either let it go, or what we train them to do when the ball's there by the sideline is to go over, put your foot out of bounds, and catch the ball. I think because he was running so fast, you see him, he kind of catches it and then puts his foot out of bounds. And so, he's a young player. We teach him, we move on, but. We cover that every week. We spend Thursdays, we kick balls all over the field, and that happened to him. Dylan made a great play on 3rd and 8, got a first down, got us out of that situation. But yeah, I think he was just trying to, he was excited to go play, and the ball was kicked to him. He wanted to go return it. Ja'Cory's a competitor, and, it just didn't work out right. So we just keep trying to coach through it.
Fedoni got going a little bit in that game Saturday. Is that something he can maybe build on, the way he was involved?
Yeah, no one, when you have a game like that and, the score's not going your way, you still got to go play, right? And so you can't control, how everyone else is playing. I thought Thomas caught the ball with his hands, one versus man, made some big plays. He's getting better and better and better. Thought he had a really good bye week, sprained his ankle a little bit. And so we were worried if he was even going to be able to play last week. And he came out and he played, and he's playing really good football. So, he's a guy that, you always want to have involved in the offense.
What ways does the absence of Ramir affect you in the run game, pass game, other areas?
Yeah, Ramir's a valuable player in every part of it. Some of the big guys, Gabe and Dante have to now step up in some of the third down situations, which is good because Ohio State has an excellent pass rush, but also has excellent blitzers. So having bigger men in there, in some ways, is a good thing in this week. And then it's an opportunity for Quentin. Quentin got on the field and had a big kickoff return, so it's an opportunity for Quentin to grow his role.
Carter Nelson had his snap count go up a little bit against Indiana. How have you seen him grow into, maybe being able to do more things or feeling more comfortable in more setups?
Yeah, Carter. Carter's going to be a tremendous player. When you look at the team, you look at the future. You see guys like he and obviously Ja'Cory and Dylan on offense, and you say, "Wow, I can't wait for them." His opportunities are somewhat limited at times because you have some veteran players out there. He did get here late, but he does a lot of good things. He does good things on special teams for us too. And as the season comes down the stretch, I think you'll see, as older guys are a little banged up, maybe you'll see more and more of the younger players playing in some key roles, and that's to me how you continue to build. But I think the sky's the limit for him and what he can do, and we're just trying to teach him and coach him through it and develop him so he can be, I think, just a true weapon.
Obviously want to do good things every week. Is there something about Ohio State where you're like, the thing we got to do to play well against Ohio State is X, Y, and Z? Like, are there a couple things that they make you do well because of the kind of team they are?
Yeah, they have no weakness. They have no weakness. Probably one of the best top 2 or 3 rosters in football. Great coaching staff, great schemes. So it's just one of those deals where you have to go play well. Let's start with the simple things we talked about all year. Like last week was the first week we didn't win the turnover battle, right? So it ends up the way it ends up. So you come back this week and you don't reinvent yourself. You say, hey, we got to win the turnover battle. Coming out of the bye week on offense, we talked a lot about getting better on third down. We were 7 of 16 on third down last week. So I just think Ohio State's a great team. It's a great opportunity for our guys. We have a lot of really, really, really good football players. Guys are going to play for a long time in the National Football League, both seniors and freshmen. So you have a chance to go out and challenge yourself against the best and see where you are and develop it from there. So I don't think it's any one specific thing, Sam, other than we have to go play well.
Pursuant to the analytics discussion, do you guys just get like a statistical snapshot? I'm sure each week. Mm-hmm. Is there some analytic as it relates to offense or defense that you pay particular attention to that's interesting to you?
Yeah, I'm really more like down the Bill Connolly world of EPA and stuff like that, like just yards per game and things like that. I don't spend as much time on that maybe as I do some of the other things, but on defense, havoc rate and things like that matter to me. So I'm really into that whole world. But that's more of like for me like a bye week postseason. Like, hey, to me when you're in the week, it's like, hey, how do I get this guy who's got a hurt ankle to block that guy? How do I get this guy? It's not mad and so. But in the off season, I think you build yourself around those things. Like, hey, we have to improve in these areas. The things in season we really, really spend a lot of time on, though, are, like things we believe in, like turnover rate and very, very simple things. If I had to pick one thing for us, as I said, like I think Steve Sipple asked me last week, it's just some more explosive plays. We'd like to have more explosive plays on offense. We have a lot of 8, 9, 10 play drives, and that's really, really hard to do over and over and over again. You'd like some 4 play drives that result in a touchdown, and so that's where we've been lacking. That's where we're trying to create them, and that's moving forward, something that we have to continue to improve upon.
You mentioned you want to see improvement in perimeter blocking. How has Garrett challenged those guys this week, and do you spend any more time talking to them or helping them this week?
Yeah, I mean we've challenged a lot. I think it's to the point of it's just reps. It's continued improvement. It's when you're struggling with something, you're not going to just necessarily always just change it overnight, and it's not certainly for a lack of want to or will. So I think you have to just keep coming out every week. So we're doing way more of that live. We're trying to work on it just like we work on inside run and short yardage, and I think we're getting better at it. But I don't know if we can change completely everything about it. But we're not changing what we're doing. Just getting the guys to be better and better at it, more comfortable at it, and this is a week where you're going to have to do it, right? With the way that they play, and their offense is such a good perimeter team. They kick the ball out on the perimeter and block and get yards. So defensively, we weren't very good last week in that area. So I think coming out of last week, we understand how well we have to play in space, both offensively and defensively.
You and Ryan Day were on the same staff at Temple, right? Any thoughts about that matchup Saturday?
No, I just have a lot of respect for Ryan. We're good friends. We were both young assistants together under Al Golden. I was a D-line coach. He was the receivers coach, and he left after 1 year, and we had a massive staff overhaul, and they asked Ryan to stay and be the quarterback coach, and thankfully Ryan said, no, I'm going to go be the receiver coach at Boston College, and they moved me from the D-line to being the quarterback's coach. So it was a major break in my career. And, Ryan's done a fantastic job. We're friends. I went to their pro day a couple years ago when I wasn't in college. Justin Fry, their O-line coach, and I worked together at the second stint, when Steve Adagio came to be the head coach. He's a great friend of mine and a great coach, been everywhere. Tried to hire him when I was in the NFL, couldn't do it. Larry Johnson, their legendary D-line coach, was a position coach, was the D-line coach at Penn State when I was there. So there's a lot of ties to that team. They've done a great job. They're in the national picture, and it'll be a great opportunity for us to go play against them and for me to coach against them. Thank you, guys. Good to see you, buddy.
was kind of the next step in your off-season evaluation? What did you learn about your team?
Yeah, you always learn a lot about your team the first time going up against another opponent, especially a high major opponent like Utah. And it was really good for us. They have great size. They're physical. They shoot it very well. So it was a really good scrimmage for us. You know, one thing that really stood out when we went back in our shot distribution, we were 8 for 25 at the rim. So, you know, you go in there, you make it the ones you're supposed to make. It would have been a really good scrimmage for us. You know, every mistake we made is correctable. We had a very long film session the day after, took a day off, and then came in and had a very long film session to address a lot of the things that are giving us problems right now. And now the next step is carrying that over to the game on Sunday, playing against an opponent in front of fans. So we played against ourselves in front of fans, an opponent in an empty gym, and now an opponent with fans, and a team that's going to be a good challenge for us. They lost to Toledo by 5. This Grand Valley State team, and Toledo's projected to win their league. So this is a team that's going to give us, pose different problems. Cornell Man, we worked together at Iowa State, and I know they're going to come out and defend us. They're going to pick up. They're going to be physical. They're going to guard, and they've got guys that can really shoot the ball. So it's going to be a good team that we're playing, and then we get a week to clean up heading into the opener, a team that made 25 threes in their scrimmage the other day. So get some good early season tests for us. And, you know, again, hopefully what we're looking for is to correct mistakes that are happening with our team right now, and hopefully build and grow and be ready on the 4th.
What are some of those mistakes that are kind of glaring at you right
now? Yeah, a lot of it's communication. We need to do a better job of going out there and talking to each other, making sure we execute our coverages. Offensively, just keep the ball moving, making simple plays. We did a good job taking care of the ball. We only had 7 turnovers in our game at Utah. If we can duplicate that all year, I think we're going to be a very good team. We have to value possessions, and we got lost a few times out there. Physicality at times was a problem for us, but overall, we gave them under 10 offensive rebounds, and that's a physical, long team. So that was solid, but we can always get better in that area.
It seemed like you felt pretty good about the chemistry earlier in the summer. Now, a couple of weeks from it being for real, how do you feel that's developed? Your last few teams obviously had a good we're in sync in that way.
Yeah, the chemistry, it continues to be good, and the challenge now, it's always good until you play your first game, and then you have to make sure that you continue on with the message. And I talked about this a lot in the preseason. Our biggest challenge is going to be our rotation and who we're going to play, because we've got a lot of guys certainly that are capable. And how is your attitude going to continue to be if maybe you don't get the role that you're looking for, knowing that it can always change? And we've had that happen a few times just based on injuries or circumstance where it has elevated somebody's role. And I really do think these guys genuinely like each other. That's a good start. They compete against each other. Nothing is personal. They're coachable. I really have enjoyed the group from that standpoint. A couple injury updates. So Sam, he did not play in the scrimmage against Utah. We're continuing to hold him out. He had a pretty good sprain on his ankle, and the foot that's bothering him now is the other foot, because I think he overcompensated when he got back on the court. He healed quickly from the sprain, but now his other foot's bothering him, so just out of precaution, we're keeping him off the floor right now. Andrew Morgan is in the concussion protocol. He had a pretty good collision in practice yesterday. Now he's in the protocol to try to get how many steps it is now to get cleared. Very doubtful he'll play this weekend, but hopefully we'll have him back for the opener.
What is with the new guys who entered in now a week away from playing, what is kind of the learning curve of getting acclimated to their new surroundings, and where are they at this point?
Yeah, I mean, big thing, what we're looking for once we get out there, I can't remember what coach talked about. It might have been Chris Finch that I heard the other day talking about, now that it's for real, guys try to go out and do too much. We don't need to go out and reinvent the wheel. We're a pretty solid basketball team when we just go out and play the right way and keep the ball moving and communicate on defense and don't try to jump off the page. And, team gets a run on us, try to get it all back at once, by jumping off the map, and then you're in trouble. The other 4 guys have no idea what's going on if one guy does that. So it's just staying solid, staying consistent. We're just looking for the same thing in the game that we do in practice every day, going all the way back to when we started doing live stuff in July. And I think this team is capable of doing that. Are we going to have some growing pains along the way? Sure. Everybody does, especially in today's climate with so many new faces. I have an idea on the rotation right now, but I guarantee you it will change. So, guys just always have to be ready, be prepared, go out there, execute your role, and hopefully give us a chance to get off to a really good start this season.
Have you settled on starting five at all?
No, I really haven't. We started in our game. We started big out in Utah with Raleigh, Bryce, Juwan, Burke, and Braxton. But I may start different this weekend just to throw a different group out there to see what it looks like. Threw a little bit different group out in the second half. Basically, the way the scrimmage works is we played a 20-minute like a game, and then we played another 20-minute just to work on situations. That's how we've done it the last couple of years with Utah, and it's been good for us to get those game-like end-of-game situations. So as far as exactly what we're going to do on Sunday, we may go a little bit different. I don't know yet. We've got 2 days to figure it out.
What has Burke showed you in that scrimmage?
Yeah, Burke, I think you saw what he did in our red-white scrimmage where he had 13 and 13. Did some really good things out in the Utah scrimmage, and there were some things that he needs to clean up as far as a discipline, consistency type thing that I thought was really good in the last couple of days of practice. So just really, really talented. For a guy that's 6'10", every bit of 6'10", his ability to pass, shoot, and dribble, I think his ball skills probably are the best thing that he does, and especially with not having Rink on the floor this year, having a front court player that can make plays, get into the paint, that can initiate offense for us. I think you've seen we've been pretty effective the last couple of years when we've had that type of guy on the floor. 2 years ago with Derek, and then last year with Rink. And also Josiah grew in a big way in that kind of playmaking role as well. But that's certainly something Burke can do, and also stretch the defense with his ability to shoot.
Coach, you're coming off one of the most successful seasons in a decade. You get a new contract extension. How much more comfortable do you feel going into the season, just personally at ease? I know you can never relax in the Big Ten, but how much at ease do you feel compared to past seasons, and how can that help recruiting-wise?
Oh, God, I'm never at ease. It's just the business that we're in. I'm up every morning, when I get up 3, 4, whatever it is, and I'm up. It's just, it's that time of year where you're just thinking, all right, do I have everything in? What else do we need to go through? We had a 2 days ago just to work on special team stuff in the afternoon, special situation type things. So, I don't think any of us in this business are ever at ease going into the year. I know we need to grow. We need to get better at a lot of things from last year. The thing I really liked about last year's group is how they continue to get better and improve as the season went on. And I really do think we were playing our best basketball at the end of the year. We just ran into a really, really hot team, when the tournament rolled around. But I like our group. I think they will compete. Again, we're going to continue to have to see growth with the team, fight through adversity. And I know everybody that's up here talking in front of media right now in my position is talking about the same things. And the ones that get it and don't just talk about it are the ones that are going to be standing at the end of this thing in March. But yeah, it's a fun group to be around. Very similar makeup, I think, to the last 2 teams that we've had.
Much more solid, though, is the program, do you feel, now as opposed to a couple of years ago?
I think 2 years ago we were really solid. We just had 2 of our starters that went down with season-ending injuries when we were on pace to make the tournament. And, to our guys' credit, they found a way to regroup and finish with the best record in the Big Ten in the month of February. So I loved what that group was 2 years ago, and I'm sick that they didn't get to experience the NCAA tournament, especially a guy like Sam Griesel who came home for his last year. But then, last year's group, they figured it out. We figured out the rotation as we went on, and it was a really good team to coach. So I've been really proud of the way the thing has gone the last 2 years, and it's grown, I guess, incrementally every year, from a win total, and hopefully we can take the next step this season.
What is the next step for Bryce? He was playing really well at the end of last year, but what's the next move for him?
Yeah, I think being the leader of this team is really what we need out of Bryce this year, and I give him a lot of credit. He's been really, really solid in that area, but when you lose Josiah, Casey really did a good job leading by example, and he really became comfortable leading with his voice as his career went on. And then Rink isn't going to be on the floor. Now, Rink can still lead, but it's hard to lead when you're not out there playing and on the floor. So Bryce, we've talked a lot about taking that next step as a leader. His game has grown in a huge way. Playing with the ball in his hands last year was great for his career, and we'll play some lineups, I think, still with him as the lead guard because we were so good in that when he was in that role a year ago. Not only offensively but defensively, our numbers really improved when Bryce went to guarding the other team's point guard. But yeah, Bryce, he's getting a lot of attention right now. We've had a lot of scouts in the gym. Looking at our guys, looking at our group, and Bryce certainly has the ability to get there, and it's going to be by doing the little things. It's going to be guarding every game. It's going to be making plays, high assist to turnover, continuing to shoot the ball at a high clip like he's done the last 3 seasons. But he's been awesome. I'm really proud of Bryce for where he's come from a leadership perspective.
Obviously a shooter, but how much does his outlook this year depend on all the things that aren't shooting?
Yeah, he obviously played in a great program and a very defensive-oriented team with Wisconsin, and played for a great coach and great guard for 2 seasons. And really, I think, saw the highs and lows that you can go through in this game as a player, being a starter at Wisconsin his freshman year, setting an all-time record for three-pointers made as a freshman, and then kind of falling out of the rotation a year ago. But, Connor, I'll say this about him. He gives a great effort defensively. He blocks out every possession. He's trying to go out there and use his body. He's a really good verticality, and those guys at Wisconsin are as good as anybody in the country at that. And then his ability to stretch the floor, obviously we need that from not having Casey out there, but also CJ, moving into a new situation. So, needing him out there, we're going to have a good year out of Connor. But, again, I've been really pleased with what I've seen, not only with his shooting ability, but some of the things he's done on the other end as well.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you, guys.
Practice finished up.
How you guys doing? Good. Sorry, we're a little behind. We went swimming today. So,
Where'd you go?
Swimming flush.
yeah, we were pool flush.
Oh.
Flush out the body a little bit. So it was a good time though.
How'd that go?
It was good. Yeah. Kurt helped us out a little bit with it. Got us feeling better than we were before we did it. So definitely thankful for it. Yeah.
Hey, Connor, what did you guys learn about this team against a live high major opponent at Utah scrimmage?
It kind of showed us that, we got work to do, but, that we're in a good spot as well. We still got some things that we're trying to pick up and learn. It was good to play a team that was big, very, very big of a team. 1 through 5, they had dudes that were huge. They had a couple 7-footers. They had, 2 guards, 3 guards that were 6'5", 6'6". So it was good to be able to play a team that was as big as teams that will play in the Big Ten this year.
You obviously came in as a shooter. That's always been your thing. But how much work have you put in? How much have you developed in all the other parts of basketball, defense specifically?
Just kind of picking up, on the principles here, coming from a school where, this moved, sorry. That, the defense is a completely different philosophy. And so, just kind of picking up on the new principles that, they have in place here to help us be successful and help individuals be successful on that defensive end, as we all work together with it. And then also just picking up on the offensive stuff now, a little bit better too, and kind of being able to play more free instead of just worrying about, making sure I'm making mistakes or not, just kind of now having a flowing, to my game to just be able to go out there, have fun, and, enjoy basketball and just play hard.
What are the differences defensively, and what's that process like, reacclimating?
Yeah, it's a lot more, team-oriented with it. There's a lot of, you have each other's backs, when you're onto the defensive side. Everyone's kind of together as a string. So it kind of makes us play together, which is a good thing because you kind of learn, the ins and outs of the team and, each guy. And, the defense we got here is really good.
Connor, is there any current player, one of your teammates, that's really helping you out defensively?
Honestly, it sounds crazy, but, a lot of the guys are. Yeah. Sam has also, taken a wing. He's been helping me a lot. Obviously he knows the system pretty well. So, but he's talking to me a lot on the sidelines, really, kind of helping me through stuff, talking me through stuff. As you guys know, he didn't play in the Utah scrimmage. So, he was talking to me every time I came to the bench, everything. So he's done a really good job, and he's a really good leader.
Coach says that communication might be one of the biggest weaknesses for this team right now. What do you think he's talking about when he talks about just communication aspect?
Just got to be louder. We got to talk to each other more on the basketball side. We all love each other. Off the court already, we probably talk too much off the court. But, it's just kind of, building that trust with communication. Part of it's, where a lot of us are coming from different places. So that kind of takes a part into it. But, we're going to start to get more comfortable with each other, and being able to play in front of a crowd, this coming weekend is going to be huge for us to take that next step and show everyone we can talk better.
With that exhibition, I think this is kind of the next progression of the offseason where you played each other in front of a crowd, you played a live opponent in an empty gym, and now you're playing a live opponent in front of a crowd. I guess, what are you hoping to see from this group and just responding to playing, even if it's an exhibition, playing another team with fans in the stands?
I think we're all pretty excited for it. Exhibition close scrimmages are a little different. Especially, playing in a gym that's pretty big at Utah, it's a completely different experience when you're shooting with nothing and playing with nothing going on. You got to create, all your own energy and everything. And to be able to finally go out there and, play together, with a crowd behind us, all of I've experienced is, great times here in PBA so far. With good crowds and fans, and so I'm excited for it. The guys are excited for it because a lot of us here have never really been a part of it, especially on this side of things. So it's definitely something we're all looking forward to.
Special teams plays. I'm sure Fred has kind of drawn up some stuff for you, just with your shooting ability, and we saw maybe a little bit of that in the exhibition at Devaney. How much has that helped your game, do you think, of just having Fred being aware of that?
Fred, at one point, he was one of the best shooters in the world. And, to be able to have that in your back pocket every single day is huge. And, he has the mind, a great mind as a coach, and a great mind as a shooting coach. He knows, he's been there. He knows how to get guys open. He knows how to read things, and to be able to have someone that fully understands what I play and how to play through it. It's definitely very beneficial to have that, and we connect a lot on a lot of things like that and see a lot of the same things with it. So to be able to have him on my side and to be able to work together is amazing. He has some really good stuff.
Do you feel like you have a lot more freedom offensively here to kind of make mistakes?
They are very forgiving. We play hard, we play fast, and we have a lot of freedom in our offense. Within what we're able to do, which us as players, we got to understand our roles, and a lot of guys are doing that already and figuring it out. And if you play within your role, there's a lot of freedom in our offense.
You're done your third year of college basketball. How are you different now than you were a year, 2 years ago? Just
kind of knowing how college basketball works. The ins and outs, the grind, the every day, the waking up, the going to bed. It sounds crazy, but just the little things of it. And the little things in college basketball are so huge. And to be able to know the details now inside and out of how the lifestyle works and the games work and the practices work, it kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage. And so I'm really trying to take that in and kind of use being an upperclassman to my advantage. And obviously now this will be my third year in the league, so using that, in my back pocket too.
Anything else for Connor? Thank you guys.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.